Wait a minute, my friend has to come over. Alright, now I'm ready to begin. This is about peculiar. Today I ran into the word prosaic, and it stopped me cold. Prosaic means dull, uninteresting, common, tepid, ordinary, bland, certainly nothing I would aspire to. And it's clear the word comes from prose, a way of writing, distinct, I would guess, from poetry. Poetry is taken as the ultimate expression in words, a gift from the muses, inspired speech. Poetry is seen as an elevation, a fierce concentration, a getting at the essence of things. Beauty is truth, truth, beauty, that sort of thing. So what of prose? I'm interested because I've devoted much of my life to the practice of prose, the exercise of prose, and now I'm faced with an endeavor that is, on its face value, a shrug, a jelly bean, a well-worn flannel shirt, comfortable, familiar, but absolutely nothing to get excited about, stylistically negligible, a blank, something you would take for granted, something wholly prosaic. Geez, I hope not. Is prose the flat tire to poetry's lofty wings? Is prose the cold, hard-boiled egg to poetry's hot, puffy souffle? Is it possible that prose could rise up out of the muck of the prosaic? Much of it does not, I'll admit that much, but I think some of it can. Poor old prose can be humming along and suddenly it can grab you, arrest you, amuse you, cut you to the quick. It can make you think, it can make you feel. Something about the arrangement of the words, the sound by a stylist, or the image conjured, unlikely but convincing, the thought floating out surprisingly, like the tail on a kite. Yes, prose could do that. I've read passages of solid, stinging prose many times. Enlightening stuff. I was recently reading A.J. Liebling, one who could make prose dance, and he wrote that a writer attracted him when he recognized what he called a peculiar combination of subject matter and personality. Only, I just checked, he had it the other way around. He said it was personality and subject matter, and that order may be indicative. Also, I would emphasize, as he did, that the combination of these two, that's personality and subject matter, has to be peculiar. Short of that, or anything but that, and the writing would be prosaic. So you want your writing, your prose, to be laced with, to spring from, and embody the peculiar. And maybe now we have three kinds of writing: prose, peculiar, and poetry. I'm starting to feel better. Let's focus for a moment on the peculiar. Let's start by saying that the word, all by itself, is mighty peculiar. It's odd, unusual, extraordinary, not prosaic. It's strange and unexpected, special, queer, also very specific, one of a kind, unlike any other. Peculiar can be weird, which can be enchanting if played correctly, and fussy, which can be exasperating if played too strong. Peculiar is a risky proposition. Peculiar is not necessarily better, but definitely different, immediately identifiable. Like Frank Lloyd Wright's work, one of his houses I recently saw. He was peculiar, and so were his houses. He wouldn't have it any other way, the calling card of peculiar. All the great fictitious detectives were extremely peculiar. Peculiar is a way of being. It is what is called standoffish, but it also, for that reason, stands out. Peculiar is expressive. It is prose on fire, crackling. Peculiar might be blatant, but I think more often it is subtle, in a can't quite put my finger on it kind of way. Miles Davis was peculiar. Jazz was peculiar. Peculiar is tricky and very likely comes with a sense of humor and also a little bit of spit and polish, sophistication. Accustomed to being alone, the peculiar is compassionate. This is almost always a good quality in a writer, making him or her more accessible to readers. I think it's impossible to be deliberately peculiar. Without trying to be, I have been writing for quite some time in a very peculiar way about many peculiar things. I'm very grateful for this, and may I also say that as a reader I have come to know quite a few peculiar people, a gallery of flakes, loonies, and kooks, and I think I'm the better for this.